14 years old, sentenced to 50 years with 2 life sentences. To me, it was over. I'm gonna die in prison. Was raised in South Sacramento. At first, I was raised in a 2-parent household. Then I remember one day, I think I was like 6 or 7 years old. At this time, me and my older brother, Quell, was coming home from school. And when we walking up to the house, my mother, she's sitting there waiting on the porch. And she usually don't wait on the porch. So that's already strange. But me, I'm thinking, because I've always, got in trouble at school, whether it was just acting out, horse playing in class, being the class clown. So I'm like, damn, what I do wrong? So when I walk up, she like, I got something to talk to y'all about. So then she sits us down at the table. And when she sits us down at the table, she like, your father's going to be going away for a while. And at this time, we not really knowing what she's talking about, but he was on the run for a murder. I don't know the full details of the story, but I know, my dad always had like nice cars, old school, Chevelles, Novas, Mustangs, all the old schools you can, think of. And I guess he was going to sell his car and somebody tried to rob him. And in the midst of that, he ended up getting shot and someone ended up getting killed. So at the time, we not really understanding.
He got shot?
He got shot. He got shot in the leg.
Okay, and then he shot somebody else.
And allegedly,
okay,
he shot and killed somebody.
Okay.
So my mama sit us down at the table, and she's letting us know he's gonna be gone for a while. And growing up, I was always a daddy's boy.
That sounds like self-defense, though, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he ended up pleading to manslaughter and ended up getting 6 years. So this was like 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. So she sit us down at the table and she's explaining this to us, and we not really knowing what's going on. All we know is, one day our dad is here, the next day he really ain't. But then the thing about that is too, though, is even though my dad was on the streets, he wasn't constantly in our life because he was in the streets. So he was running the streets, and when you run the streets, you spend more time in the streets with your kids, even though, he maybe was providing for us financially, his presence wasn't there. But, like I said, I always looked up to my dad. So when he left, that kind of changed everything. So now, I'm a young black male growing up in a poverty environment. And, you become a product of your environment. So now I'm going to school and I'm hanging out with my friends. And after school, we going to the, store stealing because most of us come from single-parent households. And, in single-parent households, when you got a single parent, which is primarily the mother, because most of the black males are either locked up in the streets or they dead because, the environment and survival. So in a household, the mother's not able to provide everything necessary that the child may want. So you may go to your friend's house, he may have a new PlayStation or a new Nintendo, or he may have a toy that you want or something like that. So now we going to the stores stealing these things that we want that we see other kids have. But at that time, we not knowing it's wrong. We just trying to get what we see our friends got. And then, when you grow up in communities like that, you emulating or you imitating, the older male role models, or I can't even call them male role models. You emulate the older males in that environment. So now we going to school. We not really paying attention to school. We trying to imitate them. Now we saying, what hoods we from. But we not understanding the depthness of what we saying, how deep
right.
what we saying. We just emulating the toy soldiers. So now I'm at school and I'm getting in fights. I go, to Parkway, 3rd grade. Go there 3rd grade. One day I walk in class. Back then the style was baggy clothes. I'm wearing baggy clothes. I walk in, my teacher talking about I look like some type of thug or something like that. I end up cussing them out. Then my mama ended up coming to the school, and she ended up kind of cussing them out because basically they were stereotyping me and discriminating against me because, I was having anger issues. My father was gone, really didn't talk to nobody, so I ended up getting kicked out of there at the 3rd grade. So from there, I go to John Steele, and at this time, I'm kind of like mad at the world. My dad gone. The only upside to that was I had an older cousin named Jug, and when my mama started talking to him about me acting out, he had came down from the Bay, or he wasn't staying in Sacramento, and he put me in Pop Warner football. So now he was trying to channel my energy into something positive. So growing up, I'm playing football, but at the same time, I'm going to school and I'm still acting out. So I go to John Steele for about a year. I think I ended up getting in a fight. I ended up getting sent to the office, and then I got kicked out of that school. So
Is that like a reformatory school? It's just another school.
no, these is all elementary schools in
regular
South
school.
Sacramento. Because in South Sacramento, you got the G Parkway area, and then you got Parkway Elementary in that area. Then you got the 29th Street and the Meadowview area, and you got John Steele in that area. But also on 29th Street, you got Cesar Chavez and I believe Edward Kimball. So when I ended up getting kicked out of this other school in the South Sacramento, John Steele, they ended up sending me to Edward Kimball. Then I ended up going to Edward Kimball, and then I was cool that year. And then my older brother started going to Quell started going to Cesar Chavez. So my mama said, "Well, I'm gonna move you with your brother." And as soon as I got there, I had more friends. So I remember one day I was sitting in class, and I had like one of them little stink bombs. So I'm sitting in the back of the class, and I'm nudging my friend, and he looking, and I throw the stink bomb towards the teacher. So, you know, the students started playing like, "Oh, what's that smell? What's that smell?" So I'm sitting there laughing, and then one of the students told on me. So when the student tell on me, I go to the office. The principal called my mama. So my mama like handled the phone. So he handed me the phone, and she whispering. She like, "Boy, when you get home, I'm about to tear your ass up." I'm like, "No, mama, no." So the whole day, now I got an in-house suspension until I go home, which means I can't be in the classroom. I got to sit in the office. So the whole time I'm in the office, I'm dreading going home. So I go home, I end up getting my ass towed up. Damn. So I'm going to school. I'm doing cool. And one day I walk into class, and I'm not understanding what this female is talking about. But I just took it as disrespect, because she like, when I get off my period, you going to eat my coochie. I'm like, what? So I end up slapping her. So when I slap her, she tell on me because her nose started bleeding a little bit. So they end up sending me to the office. And then when I go to the office, the same thing happened. Now I got like a 3-day suspension. I'm going there. I started doing cool, kind of. And then I ended up finishing out the school year. So my brother ended up going to middle school, 7th grade. So now I got a little brother. He's going, named Quavon. He's going to Bowling Green Elementary. This is another school in South Sacramento by Foreign Road. So I ended up transferring there with my little brother. And then when I got there, I didn't like the school. I don't know why. Didn't like the school. So I go there. The only part I did like was they had this program, whereas, because I think I was in the 5th grade now. So you had to, once a week, we'd go over there with the disabled children, and you had to like read to them and stuff like that. So we'd go over there and do that. That was cool. And then, you know, going to recess playing basketball. But other than that, it was the same stuff. Fighting, getting in trouble. And then the school had one day called my mom, like, "You know what, I think we need to refer him to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, one of the two." So, and mind you, at this time, I didn't really talk. Like now I'm social.
Right.
But then I didn't talk at all. Like I wouldn't say not one word. Because I remember when I first went to jail, somebody asked my mom, they like, "Well, how are you going to talk to him if he never talks?" But back to the story, they sent me to the psychologist. I go in there, and every time I go in there, I'm just silent. So one day we go in there, and he told my mom, he like, "You know what? I think he just needs to stop coming because he's wasting both our time."
Right.
Obviously, he's not going to say something, and I can't get nothing out of him. So they end up referring me to the SSR, the Social Security place for kids with disabilities. So I ended up getting diagnosed with anger management and comprehension. So I ended up finishing out that school year. Now I'm in middle school. First, I got to go to summer school, get my grades up. Go to summer school, Fern Bacon, get my grades up. I go to middle school. Mind you, all these kids I done went to and all these other elementaries, now they all there. So now I got different groups of friends. As if I would have just went to one school, I would only knew one group. So now I got all these different friends. So now I get there, our activities is escalating. So we done went from stealing from stores to now we stealing cars.
How old are you?
At this time, I'm like 12, 13.
Okay.
So we stealing cars. So it used to be like them Buick like 92s and them like them older cars and stuff. But on the steering wheel on the left by the blinker light, if you crack it, it got like a little horse collar. And then all you do is pop that and pull it up. So this is what we doing. So we riding around, you know, stealing cars. We doing house burglaries. And like I say, it's not something that I'm proud of or nothing like that. But
How does that happen? Like, what burglaries? Like, I mean, what do you just drive around till you find a house, or does somebody know a neighbor?
This is what we used to do, right? We used to walk up to the houses. We used to drive around the houses, park the cars down the street, and then we would go up to the house and we would ring the doorbell. Now, if somebody answered the doorbell, you ask like, is Johnny here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Throw it off. But if somebody don't answer the door and then you do it a couple of times, you know.
Right. Nobody's in the house.
That nobody's in the house.
You just you go around the back?
And then you go around the back, you pop the window, you pop the side door, and then you go in there and get the things that you was never provided with or that you know that you couldn't afford.
Okay.
And
say what if there's no kids there with stuff? Like, what do you just take, like a TV or
then you take like TV, you take jewelry, you take anything with value.
Okay.
Did you ever have any moments as a kid where you break in and someone is in there? Or like a close call where like y'all almost got caught?
Yeah. I was gonna say we had a cat burglar. Same thing. What does she call a Bob knock or something like that? Or you knock on the door and you say, "Is Bob here?" And they're like, "No, there's no Bob here." It's like, "Oh, I got the wrong house." But she broke in, and one time she broke in. She was sure the house was empty. She's going through everything. She's walking around. She's doing everything. Looking through drawers. Turns around. There's a fucking grown man standing there.
Yeah.
What the hell are you doing here? And she's like, "Wah." Took off
what did
running.
she do? Oh, she took
off running.
She yelled like, "I'm a minor! I'm a minor!"
Yeah, don't touch me. You don't touch me. I'm a minor. And then she ran off and left. And then remember, she's leaving. She's running out the back, and she remembers, she left like her purse or something there with her
ID.
And she had just gone to like probation. She had like a probation letter.
Yeah.
So it's got everything. And you're on probation. Like, they know exactly who you are. So she goes back in the house, grabs it, runs back, right? And then the neighbor, by this point, one of the neighbors hears what's going on, tackles her and holds her down and wait for the cops.
And then
But she was fucked.
How much time did she get?
Oh, for that? No.
Not much.
Nothing?
Not much. But it just kept getting worse and worse. You know, like they probate. And then one day when they finally hit you, boom, she's got like 10 years.
Yeah, she eventually got 10 years.
Yeah. Like a build up?
Yeah, you know, they give you, multiple chances, and then it's like, we're done. We're done. We're done giving you your chances. It's over. And she got hammered. Plus, she was stealing high-end. She's going into high-end neighborhoods. You know, she's stealing
gold and jewelry, and she was bringing it to a pawn shop. And then the pawn shop was under investigation.
I forgot that. She's melting the shit
down.
The
pawn shop was under investigation?
And eventually, yeah.
Why? Because it kept buying stolen jewelry?
Well, and melting it down. So he's coming up with these
But
gold
how do they
bars.
know?
Well, it's a pawn shop. I mean, somehow or another, there's an investigation. Somebody got busted.
The gold and you melt it down, it's like it ain't gonna have nothing on it.
I know, but somehow I don't know. I don't remember exactly. But she, trust me, by the time they grabbed her, it was in the millions.
Yeah. But she was dating her boyfriend. Had no idea she was doing this, and then so when the cops come and like bust the house,
you gotta see.
He's like,
so hold on, the boyfriend go to jail too?
No, he had no idea.
Clue. So he's dating this fucking chick.
All right, but say you say a crime happened, right?
Yeah.
And like say in California, and you there, you have no knowledge of it.
No, he's not there. He's just dating her.
But I'm saying, did he get caught in the house when they raided it?
He was in the house, but he was like
raided it, right?
His house.
Yeah, when they came to the house, they're like, "We need to see so and so." He's like, "Oh, why? What's going on?"
Yeah, he
just had no idea.
He's at home. He has no clue. And she's pregnant. She got pregnant.
She got pregnant, and so
she was pregnant. She has she has a
Yeah.
So he's just like, he doesn't know who the fuck is. He's like, who are you? What are you talking about? Like, you're this nice little girl that I've been dating.
He
and he
makes
makes good
different image in his head.
Yeah, and then I got busted for this, and I have. Well, why? Well, to support my addiction. You're what? Yeah, it's and waited for her the whole time she's locked up, raising her kid. She gets out. She's not even, and she doesn't date him. She's not with him.
Oh, she didn't want to be with him?
She didn't want to be with him. But he was there the whole time you're locked up.
Well, that was his choice.
I know.
So
I agree.
You can't feel bad for her.
I agree. And she explained, no, he knew the whole time, like, this is not going to work out.
Yeah, some people psych themselves out, man, and sell themselves the delusion.
Yeah.
And then it got to really just happen. But
so you were breaking into the place. So one time you go in and there is somebody there?
And then it's somebody there. So they just coming. So they coming through the front door, we coming through the back door. Then as soon as we hear it, we shoot out.
Right.
So boom. That happened. Still going to school, and then one day we steal some cars and we get caught. But the car ain't been reported stolen. So since the car ain't reported stolen, they can't arrest you. But we're minors.
Yeah.
So what they do is call our parents. So they call our parents, go home, I get my ass whooped. My boy get his ass whooped, he get grounded. So then we go to the school the next day, and then we used to catch the public transportation. And on the public transportation, you got a bunch of teenagers, and then we just going crazy. We on there kissing girls, all this type of stuff, fighting on the bus. We'd get off the bus fighting, going body blows, trying to show out in front of the girls. You know how it is, man, females and males, all that testosterone. So one day, some stuff happened. The principal calls into the office. So now he trying to get us to tell on each other. So he gets to talk about, oh, man, we got video camera. We got you guys. But everybody ain't saying nothing. So he mad. So now he trying to call our parents. And he's trying to explain to them. And they like, well, do you have proof of this? So he has no proof. So after that, he was out to get us. So we ended up finishing the 7th grade year. Before I start my 8th grade year, he calls me into the office. Jamel, we want you to sign a behavior contract. I said, a behavior contract? Why would I sign a behavior contract and I ain't even did nothing? So then he calls my mom. He tells her the same thing. She says, my son is not about to sign a behavior contract. The school year hasn't even started. You can't hold something against him from last school year that you had no proof of anyway. So I start the 8th grade. One morning I go in class. I'm mad about something. I think I got in trouble in the morning for doing something. Probably didn't do my chores or something. And I walk in class and the teacher is saying something to me. And he walk up on me. And when he walk up on me, I push him. And when I push him, I get up and I walk out of class. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I go to the principal office. They made this whole big issue out of it. Send me home. Now I'm on an in-depth suspension. So I end up having to go to the board of the school district or something. They end up holding a meeting on me. They end up kicking me out of the whole school district. So now I got to go to a continuation behavioral school. Now at this school, it's a hands-on school. So you act up, they able to body slam you. And before you go in, they search you and they pat you down. So I ended up going to this school, and I had this teacher, and it's crazy. I always talk about him in all my interviews. My teacher, Mr. Sanders, a short black dude with a bald head. But when we start the class off, he's like, look, man, I care about y'all. I know y'all probably feel like a lot of people don't care about y'all because a lot of people at this school was juvenile delinquents. They had been in juvenile hall, in and out of juvenile hall, foster homes, where they got behavior problems.
Yeah.
So he's like, I was reading an article, and they building 20-some new prisons. And they say 7 out of 10 of them prisons, 7 out of them beds in prison got your name already written on it. We ain't really paying him no mind. And he just found me. He just found me, had reached out to me on Instagram.
Oh.
He said, hey, man, I've been getting all these people been sending me all these interviews. He like, man, I'm proud of what you're doing, this, that, and so it was crazy.
That's pretty good.
Because I always tell the story. So I go in class one day. One of my friends is messing with me. And I'm telling him like, hey, man, stop bothering me. So he keep bothering me. So I end up taking my pencil and stabbing him in his thigh with it. So he ended up screaming. So it kind of startled me. I'm like, so now I'm trying to play it cool. he go to the office. He tell on me.
Right.
So they call me in the office. It's this. She like black and Asian. The black and Asian lady with some glasses. She like, Jamel, you know you just did something serious. She like, we can send you to jail. You lucky he don't want to press charges or nothing. In my head, I'm like, man, shut up. So I end up going back to class. School year there was pretty cool though, because the teacher, like I say, Mr. Sanders, he used to come out to the basketball court with us at recess,
right,
and play basketball with us, because he had, I want to say, 2 younger sons. So he looked at us as, like his own kids. So he would actually come out there and interact with us. And it's different from going to a regular school to whereas it's just like a program, a machine.
Right.
This, that, to actually going to a school to whereas you got a teacher your same color and he actually showing that he care about you. So the whole class, we end up graduating and we end up doing good. And I was still playing for the South Sacramento Vikings. At that time, I think I had won. That's the Pop Warner football. I told you my cousin had put me in. At that time, I think I had won 2 championships and lost one. So now I'm going to the 9th grade. This is like the end of 2006. And I can't go back to a regular high school. I have to go to a continuation high school because I'm still kicked out of the school district. The only difference is Pop Warner, you can only play to a certain age limit. So the only good thing about is I got to pick a high school to play football for. Even though I went to this school, as long as I kept my grades up and they make you sign a paper, you can play football for this high school. So I ended up going to, I think, American Choice High over there in downtown Sacramento, like off J Street. But I'm playing for Kennedy football in Green Haven High School, Kennedy High School. They call it the Kennedy Cougars. So I'm playing for them. And I'm actually keeping up my grades because football is giving me the incentive. So one day, I go to football practice. I ain't gonna lie, we was trash this year. We had lost like probably every game. Every game.
Okay.
And this is way different from Pop Warner where I just won like 3 championships. Lost 1 or lost 2. Won 3, lost 2. So we go to the locker room one day. The coach is waiting in there. He's not happy. You could just see it on his face. You could feel the energy. So he wait till the whole locker room fill up. He say, man, you know what? All y'all throw y'all shit in the middle. So we like, huh? He like, yeah, since y'all don't want to do y'all homework, since y'all don't want to keep y'all grades up, since most of the football team is failing, just throw all y'all shit in the middle. We're going to have a banquet, hand out y'all trophies or whatever, and the season is over with. Y'all can't keep up the grades. So we end up getting, I think I ended up that year getting defensive player of the year for Kennedy Cougars, junior varsity. My boy Terrence Mitchell went up getting offensive player. And at that point, I didn't have nothing to look forward to. I was still in the streets, still representing my neighborhood, still gang banging. At this time, I'm in the 9th grade. I end up getting kicked out of school. So now I'm suspended for like 2 weeks.
How do you get kicked for what?
I think I cussed the teacher out. I'm not really sure, but I know I got kicked out of school for sure though. In the suspension. So my mama, she goes to work. My brother, he's at school. My little brother's at school. I'm at home. So I had hit a burglary and I had came up on a weapon, a .22 revolver. So my little girlfriend called my phone. I'm supposed to be going to meet her at Meadowview Light Rail. So
what's that?
It's a light rail station in Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Like
it's
how you
like
got
a train
like
train
station or something, like your local train station that take you just like yeah. So I ended up going to Meadowview Light Rail Station. I ended up getting there, and when I get there, me and her end up having an argument. So I'm supposed to go to her house. So once we get into this argument, she leave. So now I have nothing to do. So I end up jumping on Meadowview Light Rail and getting off at the next stop, Florence Light Rail Station. I get off at Florence Light Rail Station. I end up walking to one of my friend's house. When I get to my friend's house, we over here chilling. So now I'm trying to leave here because I'm bored. I'm about to go do something else, but I don't know what I'm about to go do. At this time, I'm 14 years old. Kid, nothing to do. I'm suspended from school. I didn't listen to what my mama just said because my mama told me not to leave out the house. You know, at that time, you rebellious. I ain't got no dad. I'm looking up to, you know, my older partners in the hood. So I'm going through my rebellious stage. I ain't trying to hear nothing. I know everything stage. So I ended up leaving my friend's house, and one of my other friends ended up walking with me. So now we get on the main street, Florin Road. I see one of my enemies. He with two of his friends.
Why is he your enemy?
Because he's from opposite neighborhoods.
That's it?
Pretty much, man. You know, like when you grow up in, low income communities, your neighborhoods become your friends.
Right.
And then you got these other neighborhoods, and y'all get to go in places like Cal Skate or the house parties, and now y'all getting into it with each other.
Right.
So now it's this neighborhood versus this neighborhood.
So this is just one of the kids that you've had issues with.
So this is a person where I had issues with his neighborhood.
Okay.
So I see him, and I end up crossing the street. When I cross the street, we end up walking into the same convenience store or liquor store or whatever you want to call it. So inside the store, we had some words, which was disrespect. So when we get outside, we continue to have some words going back and forth, which was disrespectful. Then he ended up physically assaulting me. And when he ended up physically assaulting me, at first, I grabbed him. And when I grabbed him, he was still trying to physically assault me. So somehow in my mind, it automatically clicks that I got this weapon on me. So I start reaching for my weapon. So when I start reaching for my weapon, he start kind of realizing that. So he starts to turn. And as he starts to turn, I pull my weapon out and I start firing. Now he's running. And as he's running, I'm like kind of chasing him down and running across the street. At this point, I stop firing. Now I'm just running. I'm running across the street. And when he get across the street, he ended up collapsing. But I look and I keep running. Now I'm scared, Now I'm acting off impulse and I'm running. So I end up running to one of my friends' house. And then I end up having another one of my friends come get me.
How old is that kid?
The victim?
Yeah.
17.
Oh, okay.
He's 17 at this time. I'm 14. So I get to an area called Mac Road. I get out the car with me and two of my friends, and another car pull up, and they like, y'all heard what happened? So my friend, he don't know nothing. He don't know. The one that came pick, he don't know nothing.
Okay.
I didn't tell him nothing. So she like, somebody just died over there on Florence. So I'm like, damn. So that whole day, it's just all type of stuff going through my mind. But I don't say nothing to nobody. And then like a couple days go past, rumors start happening on the streets. The streets talk.
Right.
So
is your name coming up?
My name and my brother's name is coming up.
Your brother wasn't even there.
No, but my brother looks dead on me.
Oh, okay.
He's my older brother, but you would think he was my twin with different eyes.
Right.
So now his name is coming up. My name is coming up. At this time, my brother was on probation. So he becomes a person of interest because the victim was with two dudes. And one of the dudes knew my brother. So
he's thinking it's your brother.
He's saying it looks like him.
Oh, okay.
So his probation officer, at this time, my brother was visiting his probation officer that day.
So it couldn't have been him.
So it couldn't have been him, but they still got probable cause to call him in for questioning because he looked like me. So they call him in, and at this time, I'm not knowing one of my so-called friends, he gets arrested for some robberies. So when he gets arrested for the robberies, he tells the police he has information on the murder that just occurred, and he knows where the murder weapon is at, if he can cut a deal. So he ends up giving them that information. And then he ends up pointing me out the lineup and all this. Out the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
So now they call my brother to the interrogation. They raided like 3 houses. They raided the house where the murder weapon was at. They raided my friend Eddie's house, and they raided his girlfriend's house.
Why'd they raid their house?
Because they was looking for weapons.
Oh, okay.
So they don't find nothing. So they call me.
They don't find anything at all? All 3 of the houses?
No. At my friend's house that he said it was at,
yeah,
they found it.
Okay.
And another weapon. So it turns out to be credible.
Right.
So then they end up bringing all of us in. My brother, he's at his probation officer house. Building. Yeah. He's out. My boy, he's cuddled up with his girl. So they have detained me. So when they end up booking me, I'm not thinking nothing of it. I go in there, and it's this juvenile hall staff. Her name is Miss Gray. And she's just shaking her head. And I told her, I didn't think nothing of it. I'm like, yeah, I'll be out tomorrow or something. She's like, okay. And the next thing I know, the psychiatrist is at the door.
Do you have no idea why you're there?
Well, I know it's for the murder.
Oh, okay. Because you said you weren't worried. Like I'd be worried if I thought they were looking for me or you just think nobody's said anything, they don't have anything.
I'm thinking that worse come to worse, even if he did say something in self-defense, I was physically assaulted.
Right.
And that's what I thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are there cameras?
There's no cameras.
Yeah, and his 2 buddies are, you can't really
2
rely on them.
teens.
Yeah.
And then it's another teen, and he's committing robberies.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking worse come to worse is gonna be self-defense.
Right.
So then I'm in there for like 3 days, 2 days. My public defender come talk to me, Joanne Harris. So she's like, Mr. Stevens, I'm sorry to tell you that, you're going to be facing 25 years of life for first-degree murder and great bodily injury causing harm using a weapon.
How's that first degree? You didn't go there intending to kill the guy.
See,
like manslaughter.
At this time, they had amended the 707 Welfare Code Section B, which allowed the district attorney to directly file against juveniles as adults. So the district attorney took it upon, I think, himself to file directly against me to send me to adult court. So now he gets me with the maximum charge. And mind you, we had like a semi-gang war going on. Mm-hmm. So this is the first murder that occurs in this gang war. So now he's trying to make an example.
Right. Right, but I would just think that you would still want to file appropriately. You didn't go there with the weapon intending to.
Well, see, I'm gonna get to that during the story. So then this is the twist. I go to court. Before I go to court, my attorney pulls me out again. She says, Jamel, I'm sorry to inform you that you're not going to be facing 25 years of life. You're going to be facing 50 years with 2 life sentences. 25 years of life for the first-degree murder, and then 25 years of life for causing great bodily injury with additional gun enhancement for using the gun, which pushed an extra 15 years on there. So now I'm facing 50 years with 2 life sentences. So
it's getting better and better.
I'm going to court. This happens this is the crazy part. This happens in January 2007. My father is getting out of prison October 2007. So mind you, I ain't seen my dad all the way since 2003.
Right.
He's coming out. I'm going in.
Right. Are they holding you in?
I'm in juvenile hall.
Okay.
In the maximum security units. So you got to visit behind the glass.
Yeah.
I think you only get like 3 visits a week for an hour. So I'm doing this for like 20 months. It comes to the end of I had my preliminary hearing June 2008. I ended up going to trial like a couple months later, like August 2008. So I'm in trial. When they raid my house, they find some rap lyrics on the wall.
Okay.
And these rap lyrics is talking about murder and, doing drills on the ops and shooting at, your opposition and your enemies. So now they're saying, it shows that through these rap lyrics, he had thoughts of already killing somebody. He already premeditated to kill somebody, and not only that, he left the house with a weapon. What else would he have had left the house for if he didn't plan on using this weapon? And then not only that, they were saying that they had said that since I chased him down and he was no longer a threat, it only takes 2 seconds. And they say once he became not a threat and me chasing him down, that showed that I premeditated the killing.
All right.
So I end up going in front of 12 jury because I'm getting tried as an adult.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Did they come to you with an offer? Like, hey, we'll do manslaughter. He does 15.
This is what the district attorney tells my attorney. Tell us what you think a good deal would be. So I tell my attorney, I said, well, what's the option? She said, well, I really think it should be self-defense. She's saying, I don't think you should do no time.
Yeah, well, that's not on the table, is it? So what's reasonable?
She's saying, I'm going to shoot for the manslaughter, the lower term and mid-term, 6 to 11 years. I tell her, what else is there? She say 15 to 21. I say, well, I'll take 15 to 21. She says, no, we're not going to do that.
Right.
So she goes to the DA and tells him 6 to 11 years. The DA tell her like 21 to 25 or something. She tells him no. She tells him 11 to 15. He comes back and just say 25 to life.
Okay. So you're better. You might as well just go to trial.
I'll just go to trial. So I go to trial. They presenting these rap lyrics. They bringing it's like 50-some witnesses. Because now you got to remember, this is broad daylight on a main street. So now they're bringing people that was driving by in their cars that got stopped, that held up traffic. So I'm in trial. Then I'm in trial for probably like 40, 45 days.
45 days.
So I go in there.
Fuck, I figured that's a couple, 2-3 days trial, except for the 50 witnesses. That drags it out. Yeah,
but the DA got to present their witnesses. My attorney get to cross-examine his witnesses. Then my attorney brings her witnesses on, and he gets to cross-examine them. And then, you got the argument before you, the debate going back and forth, and then you got the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in trial for like 40, 45 days. Jury get to deliberating. They deadlock. It end up being like 11 to 1. All you need is one jury to say no.
Right.
They deadlock. The judge tell them no. Go back and figure it out. They go back. 2 days later, they come in. It's like 10 white jury, 1 Mexican or Asian or something, and a black lady. The black lady come in crying. When she come in crying, I'm like, damn, it's bad. It's bad. So I'm sitting down. My attorney next to me, everybody file in, whole courtroom in there. They come back, guilty on first-degree murder, PC 187, guilty on gun enhancement 12022.53 or something. We're going to call them back for sentencing. So the sentencing is like a month later. So my attorney tries to appeal for a new trial. They denied a new trial. I end up getting sentenced to 25 years of life plus an additional 25 years of life, which is 50 years with 2 life sentences.
But when you're 14 years old and you get sentenced to, 2 life sentences or 50 years plus, what is running through your mind? Like, do you think I'm ever getting out of here, or what is running through your mind?
I asked about if you were scared. You never said it. You spun it, and next thing you know, we're talking about something else. I was like, he's not going to answer that. Why didn't he answer that? But,
see, no, the thing is, right, I'm in a courtroom. I go back for sentencing. The judge tells me it's sad that we got to lose 2 lives a day. The victim that got killed, and for Jamel, that's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. He says this in front of me. My mama in the audience crying. I hear her crying. I hear the audience take a gasp. The sister get up. She says, I'm not mad no more. And she says the same thing. It's sad that he has to lose his life in prison and that my brother has to lose his life in the streets. At that moment in my mind, it's over. I'm never going home. I don't care. I end up getting shackled, handcuffed. I end up spitting on the police. They dipped me. They put the spit mask on my face, shackled me up. Juvenile hall already know.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as I get there, the psychologist is waiting. I don't want to talk. I go to my cell. My partner, my cellmate, in there. When I go in there, he already knows something wrong. I get in there. I just lay on my bunk. I look at the ceiling. He like, what happened? He smiling. He like, you beat it? I'm like, huh? I'm like, it's over. He like, it's over. Next thing I know, they calling me out for visit. I go to visit. I go in there, my mama just crying. Just nonstop. So now I got to be strong for my mama. So I'm like, all right, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. But in my mind, I'm like, it's over. So at that moment, when I got the 50 years of life, to me, it was over. I'm spending the rest of my life. I'm going to die in prison. It's, no getting out. Was I scared? I wouldn't say I was scared. There wasn't nothing to be scared of. I'm in jail. I'm charged. I got murdered. My mama, first visit she came, she told me, can't nobody help you. Can't nobody save you. You on your own. And at that moment, that's what reality was. It was more like, I wouldn't even say like a fear of not knowing throughout the whole course of fighting my case. Because, you know, your attorney is telling you this. But, you know, the reality, as you in there longer and longer and you seeing other juveniles fight their case and people taking 12 years, 15 years, and some people getting 32 to life, that, damn, it's a possibility that can be me.
Right.
So it's a fear of not knowing. But then once you know, it's like, it's over. Then after it's over, you know, you settle in, you get a grip on reality. It's like, all right, I got to find a way to cope and deal with this. You find a way to cope and deal with it. You create a program to do your time. And you just ride it out until something change. So now I'm 16 years old. So from juvenile hall, they transport me to the Children's Youth Authority, the youth prison, in Ione, California, like right next to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
So I go here. Now, why it's better? See why it's better. Because when you get there, it's like actual high school. So in juvenile hall, it's like basically 22 hours, except you going to school. You go to school, then you go back in your cell. Once here come out, they go in, then y'all come out. Now, when you get to YA, it's open dormitory. As soon as you wake up, you walk to breakfast. They feed you good, too. Once you come back from breakfast, like 30 minutes later, you go to first period. From first period, on your own, you go to second, third, fourth, fifth, so you just walking all around and all over. So there, you know, we smoking, hitting the weights. And I'm there for like almost probably 2 years. Because I get there at 16, I got to leave at 18 because I'm only there for a whole till I go to state prison. So right before I'm about to leave, this white lady come up to me. She like, I signed you up for your GED. I know you about to go to prison. I want you to get your GED so when you get there, you ain't got to go to school. You get a job. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. So me and my boy Willie Bo, I'm just telling like, yeah. So me and my boy Willie Bo sitting right there, we chilling. He sitting there laughing. He like, man, if your dumb ass could pass the GED, I know anybody can. So the next day I'm in class, I had just smoked some weed. I sit down. So when I sit down, she come in here, she like, Jamel, you got to go over. I'm like, for what? She like, the GED. I'm like, the GED? She like, yeah, you said you was. I said, man, I thought you was playing. So I go over there, I take the GED. I look at it, boom, boom. I just take me like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So I do it. One day she come in class with a green folder and she walking up to me and she smiling and she happy. I'm like, man, what's up with this white lady? So she like, Jamel, get up, and she give me a hug. And I kind of like freeze up. I'm like, she like, you passed your GED, you passed your GED. So she was happy. So inside the green folder, she got the GED. So I ended up getting my GED, and then I ended up going back to the building. And then like a month later, my boy take it, the same one I was talking shit. Mm-hmm. He ended up failing. And then it's this juvenile, it's the youth staff called Ferg. So what he do is the last meal. So, you know, like on death row, before they kill you.
Yeah, they give you
They give you the last meal. Before you go to prison, he goes home and cooks you your last meal of being in the youth prison.
Okay.
So at this time, I'm not a Muslim.
All right.
So he like, what you want? I'm like, man, give me some pork chop, give me some mashed potatoes, some green beans, some cornbread. So he bring it to me. So I eat it. Boom, boom. The next morning, I'm walking to breakfast. They like, Stevens. Right after breakfast, go to R&R. You're going to state prison.
Are you concerned about going to state prison at all? You're 16 years old. You're probably
at this time I'm 18 now.
Oh, 18? Still.
At this time, it's like a day after my 18th birthday. I just got a visit. It's the day after my 18th birthday. My birthday, February 22nd. I go to prison February 23rd. Get up there. They strip me out, squad car for all that, shackle me up, put me on the transportation bus. So I end up going to DVI, the Dual Vocation Institution, Tracy State Prison. So I get there, and I go inside, and it's filthy.
Right.
They got cells everywhere. You got the medical nurse station right here because you got to get checked out by the nursing them before you can go to the cell. So I'm waiting in the holding tank. I see a couple of my partners. They happy to see me. So now they give me, like the 401 on prison, how prison run and all that stuff. So now I got like a little bit of insight. Plus my uncles and my dads and all them been in prison too though. So I go to the medical. I end up going to East Hall. So now in East Hall, they got 3 tiers. And then I end up like in cell 352. So in reception, all you do is you go to breakfast, you go back to your cell, you go to dinner, you go back to your cell, you get your like twice a week. So, but they got the porters, like people that come to your door that like clean up the tier and stuff like that. Yeah. And then they come to ask you like, where are you from? This, that, and the third. Then they let you know, oh, you got some homies over here, you got some homies over there. You got a kite you want to write them, like, a pen and a piece of paper and send them a message. So I end up having an older homie named JoJo there from my hood. So we end up getting our first yard. Now they not telling me because now it's East Hall, and then when you go out to yard, it's another building which is West Hall. So you got homies in West Hall too. But they not telling me when you go out to the yard and somebody call your name, you can't say nothing to them. So I come out and one of my homies like, stay. I'm like, who is that? The correction officer like, hey, take it back in. The fuck you think you doing? I'm like, huh? I'm like, what are you talking about? I ain't even do shit. He like, man, I ain't trying to hear that shit. Take it back in. And that's when I learned, you can't say nothing. So I end up taking it back in. Now I got to wait like a whole another 3-4 days for yard. I end up going to yard. My older homie JoJo, he had already did 10 years. He was back on a parole violation. So when we go to the yard, he did most of his time on a level 4 maximum security prison. So he already told me, he like, man, most likely you're going to go to a maximum security prison. So he give me the rundown. He like, man, I went to High Desert State Prison. He like, man, they racist. You don't want to go there. You do not want to go there at all. So he like, man, we from Sacramento. So try to go to New Folsom or SAT-F, which is New Corcoran. So I'm there for about like 90, 95 days. I got to see my counselor. Now, the counselor is the one who go over your points, like your behavioral points, the points you get for your time, whether you got a VIO, like a violent, and whether you got like a hard 19. Because if you got a hard 19, you can't go past a certain level.
What's a hard 19?
A hard 19 is automatically 19 points.
Okay.
Like you can't, like once you got a hard 19, you can't go to fire camp. You have to stay behind a security fence and under a gun tower.
But why would you have a hard 19? Based on your charge? So based on your charge?
Yeah, it can be based on your charge or your violence in jail.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to be you were a member of a stabbing, something like that, yeah.
So just based on I have a murder, I automatically got a hard 19.
Yeah.
And mind you, from juvenile hall to CYI, I probably had like 30 incidents. So when I see my counselor, she like, well, congratulations that you got your GED. She like, you one of the first ones to come from CYA that actually had it. She's like, so when you get to prison, you can get a job. She like, the bad news is you're going to a level 4 super maximum security 180 prison. She like, so which ones do you want to go to? So I'm like, Folsom and SAT-F. So 90 days later, 100 days later, I get a bag. It's a HDSP. So I'm like, what the fuck is HDSP? So I strike my homie up, and then I hear him on the tier. He said, oh, it's all bad. I'm like, it's all bad. He like, man, that's High Desert State Prison. I'm like, huh? He like, yeah, that's High Desert State Prison. I'm like, damn, the racist prison he was talking about.
Right.
So they end up coming to get me like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Strip out, because, you know, you got to strip out, put your clothes back on. Then you got to go to the cages. So now you in the cages with everybody that's about to get on the bus. So before we get on the bus, they strip us out again. We get on the bus, they give us our sack lunch. So, you know, a little bologna sandwich. And we end up going to Old Folsom State Prison. I think this prison was built like in the 1800s or something.
Yeah.
Shit looked like one of them old ass castles.
Yeah,
dinosaur prison. So we end up dropping some people off there. So the next stop is Susanville. But Susanville and High Desert is right across the street from each other. So you have to go out of California, go into Nevada a little bit, and then come back in California. It's in the mountains. So we end up going to Susanville, dropping the people off at Susanville. Then from Susanville, it's High Desert. So it's like 20 of us going to High Desert. So as soon as we get off the bus, it's a sign to say High Drama State Prison. So we walk in, they strip us out. It's a black dude, but he run with the Southerners, the Serranos.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a Mexican. You know, once you do that, you're not black. So he ended up arguing with the police. He thought it was going to be an argument. The police ended up whooping his ass while he was asshole naked, pepper spraying him and throwing him in a cage and throwing a fan on him. So that's my first experience at High Desert State Prison. So they come give us our bed rolls, you know, our state prison blues, because when you in reception, you in the orange. So they say you really ain't in prison till you get in your blues. So you end up giving us our blues, and then they end up giving us, you know, our pillowcase, our 2 sheets, our cover, and our pillow. So we got to be shackled up and walk to the yard because the yard is already on lockdown. At this time, I believe the whites and the Northays is at war. I think the Northays had just killed the white. So they at war, so the yard is on lockdown, and some metal had came up missing. So I go to the cell, and it's crazy because my cellie ended up being an older dude from Sacramento named Big Hennessy. And my uncle that's in jail right now, just ran into him. He was trying to find me. But it ended up being a blessing because I ended up being in the cell with him, and he started lacing me up because he had been out of prison since like the 80s. He was like one of them older dudes you would imagine that being in prison, big, buff, and all that. So when I go in there, he's lacing me up on the politics, the do's and the don'ts, where you can go, you know, how things go, what you supposed to do, what you ain't supposed to do. When you walk around the yards, you always bring somebody with you. You know, the proper protocols.
Right.
So luckily we on lockdown, so he tell me like, man, sign up for medical. And then after that, sign up for the law library so you can already get a layout of where everything is when you come out, so you can already be aware. So I do that. We end up coming off lockdown. They end up tearing up the yard, searching the yard. We on the yard one day, and the yard go down, but it's behind a wall in medical, because on the level 4 180, everything is closed. Like even the sections, you got A section, B section, C section, but between each section they got a wall up, so you can't see inside B section.
Mm-hmm.
So medical is behind the wall. You got to go through a door, they close it, and then it's like a gang of different medical, law library, and all that behind the wall. So the yard go down. The Northays end up killing the Serrano on medical. So now we back on lockdown, because before we can even come up, they have to now search the yard and all that. So we go on lockdown. Now the Northays, the whites, and the Serranos is at war. So the Northays is at war with the whites and the Serranos. So now the only races that is off lockdown is the blacks and the Asians. So now it's beautiful. You know, the Mexicans is out the way. Because, you know, when the Mexicans is on the yard in California, you have the black area, the Mexican area, the white area. So it's designated places of where you can't go. Everybody got their own areas. So now that they off the yard, we got the whole yard.
Right.
Because they're not using it. So we end up having to hold yard for I think like 2 years. But during these 2 years, the only thing about California is with the blacks, you have the Bloods and the Crips. And if a Blood and a Crip get into it, it's a riot. So now we getting into it over shit like basketball and stuff like that. And then the Nortes, the whites and the Serranos are now coming off lockdown. And at this time, they were still doing the 23-hour and one lockdown for like 9 months, a year. So like when one of the blacks came out and stabbed the police, we ended up being on lockdown for like 9 months. But at this time, it was doing like that. And then what the police would do is they'd play these psychological warfare games. So say something happened and we go on lockdown. What they'd do is they'd use like guerrilla warfare tactics. They'd hit A section in 6 block. And then instead of hitting B section and C section, they'd go to 7 block and hit some on there, some over there. Because, you know, in prison, everybody got something they ain't supposed to have.
Right.
You know, it's a
some
war
kind
zone.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, so now they keeping you on your toes. So we went through that for like 2 years straight. The Nortes ended up coming off lockdown. The whites ended up coming off lockdown. The Serranos ended up coming off lockdown. Now the blacks got to show more unity. And then Sacramento had ended up coming with a new law that what prisons was doing was they would come up with little excuses like, oh, metal was missing. That would give them the opportunity to shut down the yard for as long as they wanted to, tear up the yard, but on top of that, they're getting hazard pay. So they're milking the system.
Right.
So now Sacramento comes with this law, wait, hold on, y'all can't put these guys on lockdown no more than 14 days. And not only that, you can no longer lock down just one race at a time. If you lock down one race, you have to lock up everybody. So now this is way more work for the police.
Right.
Because when everybody's on lockdown, they have to cook the food. They have to do all the duties.
Right.
So now this is stopping the lockdowns. And now, at this time, I think I'm like 20, 21, 22. They end up...
Man, how long you been locked up at this point? Since you were
At
14,
this point-
2020, that's 8 years.
At this point, 2007 to 2000... It's around like 2012, 2013. So yeah, about like 7, 8 years at this point. And my cellie, he used to do law. So he started teaching me law. So now he's teaching me how to write these motions and stuff like that, read these law books. And in my mind, I'm reading it, I'm paying attention, but I'm not paying attention, if you get what I'm saying. So he like, look, man, you came to jail when you was 14. He like, you got 50 years with 2 life sentences. He like, I read your case. He like, man, I know you don't think now, but eventually they're going to have to let you go. He said, man, so you need to just study this law and stay in these books. He said, even though I know you act like you ain't hearing it, it's like planting a seed. Eventually it's going to take root. So he was my cellie for like 2 years too. So then in like 2012, they come with Senate Bill 260. Which is now juveniles that was 14 or 17 after doing 25 years of life can have a possibility at going to the parole board for release.
Right. Because that was where they were given the juveniles life sentences. They decided, hey, we can't be giving, we can't be locking kids up
for the rest of their life,
right, for something
that
they
need a second chance.
Right.
And that if you hold somebody incarcerated for 50 years, that's not a meaningful, successful rehabilitation at life. Like, what are you going to do when you get out at 60, 65, 70? You ain't going to do nothing but be a burden.
So you weren't even up for parole. They weren't running.
I wasn't even up for parole.
When
I went to prison, my date was January 19, 2057. So I was in 2057.
Yeah.
Then 2012 come, they passed Senate Bill 260. It puts me at 2031.
Right.
So that was like a little motivation, but it's like still 25 years.
Yeah.
And then I have the possibility of going home. Not even that I'm going to go home. I'm going to have the possibility of going home. And then at High Desert, it wasn't no self-help groups. It wasn't no rehabilitational programs. We're always on lockdown. There's no resources. There's nothing to rehabilitate you. all year round is violence and chaos. Somebody getting stabbed. When I was at Hard Desert, in like the first 2 years, I think like 8, 9 people got killed. The whole prison was under investigation. Probably still is under investigation. So
if they're being killed, who knows how many stabbings there are? There's got to be 20, 30 stabbings.
And mind you, before you go out to the yard, you have to be strip searched and winded down with a metal detector.
And they're still figuring out how to kill each other.
And people are still getting killed. They end up passing the Senate Bill 260, which put my possible parole date at 2031. So at this time, I think I had been in High Desert 2 years. So like I told you, we had went from doing the long lockdown to the 14-day lockdowns. And when they did this, the California prison system started to be in a stage of rehabilitation. When I first went to prison, it was just called the California Department of Corrections. Then they ended up changing the name to the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. When they put the rehabilitation on there, that allowed them to get more money to be able to rehabilitate the inmates, because was high, murders was high in prison and stuff like this. So they was wondering what was going on. So then they came with a program called it was like kind of like a anti-violence program. So that was like one of the first programs I took, because my older cellie, he was already planning it in my head to start preparing to be free. And at one time, during my incarceration, it was one time where I, kind of went through that stage of, I don't care, this is the end, had that feeling of never going home, at such a young age, and you getting all that time, that's just reality. Right. And as reality starts to set in, that's just how it looks.
It becomes your whole world. This is my world for the rest of my life. There is nothing outside of the walls.
It's a way to cope with it and start to build some type of program or some type of mental adjustment. So, for a while, this is my mentality. So when they came with Senate Bill 260, that offered, just a little hope. And then at the same time, I still had my appeals going on. So I ended up losing my first appeal in the third appellate court. The appellate court ended up agreeing with the trial judge. And then what happens from there is, once the third appellate agrees on it, the California Supreme Court just rubber stamps it. They go with what the appellate court said. So I ended up going to the California. They ended up rubber stamping it. So now I have to go to the Ninth Circuit, the federal court. So now in prison, all these supposedly prison lawyers is telling me this is where all the action is at. So they tell me, when you file your motion and they send it back, they're going to ask you, do you want a circuit judge or a magistrate judge? Request a magistrate judge. And then another thing is, my dad is out of prison at this time. Before my dad went to prison, he was doing financially well. So, them is the images I got in my head. So he's telling me he's going to give me this lawyer and stuff like that, and it's not coming through.
Right.
So then he ended up getting me a paralegal. So I have a paralegal filing my paperwork. So halfway through the process, my dad decides he wants to stop paying the paralegal. And when he stops paying the paralegal, obviously the paralegal stops doing his job.
Right.
So now I'm in the courts with no attorney, having to figure it out on my own. So all I'm doing is taking copies of what the paralegal did, and I'm sending it to because I got denied with the magistrate judge.
Right.
So now that I'm on my own, all I do is take a copy and send it to the circuit judge. The circuit judge does the same thing. He says, we wouldn't have said it was premeditation if it wasn't for the rap lyrics and me chasing down the victim. So now I don't know what to do. I'm supposed to take the case to the United States Supreme Court, but I don't have no paralegal. I don't have no attorney.
You don't have any experience.
They got the Anti-Death Penalty Act, which gives you a year to file something. After that, it's time barred. The year goes over. My appeal is time barred. It's over with.
You couldn't. None of the guys that you were hanging out with did legal work. Like
they did legal work, but once you had that year time bar, it's hard to beat that.
Right.
But see, they started misusing the time bar. They really created the time bar because you had a lot of dudes that are sitting there for 15, 20 years, and they're just filing stuff. So they said, you know what, if you got important issues, we're going to give you a year, and after that, you can't file, because they got tired of these dudes sending all this paperwork to the courts and the judge having to take all this time to go through some bullshit.
Right.
But they started to misuse it. So I ended up getting time barred, so now I'm stuck in prison. So now the only thing that I'd have to look forward to at this time is Senate Bill 260. So now I'm in prison at this time for like 4 years. The counselor ended up coming to me. He said, hey, Jamel.
You've been in prison for how long?
I've been in prison for like 4 years. That's not counting
how long since you've been? Including the whole time.
Okay, so 2007, about 7-8 years, because this is like the end of 2014. This is like.
Well, how old are you?
At this time, 2007, I'm like 22, 23. 22 by the time 23. But you were locked up
when you were 14.
Yeah. So at this time, I'm like 22, 23.
Yeah, so this is 8 years.
Yeah, this is 8 years.
9 years total. I'm thinking total. Like you're thinking you're breaking it up.
I'm breaking it up into my institutions.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm breaking it up into my institution.
Put
That's
the cuffs
why I say
on you to
prison.
Now. This is almost 10
jail,
years.
From juvenile hall to CYA to prison, this is almost 10 years. So my counselor ended up coming, and he like, I got some good news, I got some bad news. He like, they opening up a level 4 270. Now, a 270 design it's supposed to be more freedom, and then how I told you how the sections is blocked off.
Yeah.
Them sections is open. So A section, B section, and C section is all connected, and you see everybody. And then you actually walk the child. On the 180s, you get fed in your cell. They bring the food to your cell. So he like, man, they opening up a level 4 270. I'm from Northern California. I'm from Sacramento. The only thing is, it's in Southern California by the Mexican border called Centinela State Prison.
So it's going to be packed full of Mexicans?
He like,
is that
this is that, and it's going to be like a lot of people from Southern California instead of Northern California. So he like, this is your only chance to get out of high desert. So I'm like, all right, sign me up. So he ended up signing me up, putting me up for transfer is what they call it. I ended up transferring there. I'm there for like a month. One of my friends pull up. Some of my enemies pull up. We end up getting into it with my enemies. So I come out one morning, my boy and one of my enemies is arguing because they was with each other in reception, and they had some words in reception. So they agreed to go back and get in a cell fight. So mind you, my enemy start talking to me, and when he greets me with a term.
With what?
With a language.
Okay.
So when he does that, I take it as disrespect because we're from opposite sides. You don't greet me with your gang language. So I tell him not to do it. He do it again. I end up taking off on him. I end up firing on him. So we end up starting to fight. My partner, which is my cellmate, he ends up jumping in. So now we jumping him. He runs across the yard to the police. And mind you, he in his reception suit.
Right.
So now we done tore the reception suit off. So now basically he running across the yard in his shoes and boxers towards the police. So at this time, on the level 4s, they got the gun towers. So the gun tower he hits the alarm. So now the police is looking. As soon as they identify where the situation is at, they run towards it. So we all end up proning out, getting handcuffed, took to the cages, getting examined by medical. We get sent back to the cells. I come out the cell like 6 days later. Because after that, it was like a few incidents. So we end up going like on a semi-lockdown to cool the program. Because the Mexicans was having issues. It wasn't no North Days. The whites was having issues. And the blacks was having issues. But this is because it's a New York. So everybody's getting established. This is going from a level 3 to a level 4. So I come out like 6 days later. And the enemy we had jumped, he had some homeboys on the yard. So I come out, my cellie already at yard because he didn't have a job. I had a job. This is when I worked as a sewing machine operator in PIA. So I come out and like everybody huddled up on the gate. So you already know it's the issue because in prison, you're not supposed to jump somebody unless it's right. You know what I'm saying? Unless they did something wrong. Other than that, you can't jump somebody over some gang politics because when you go to prison, y'all all supposed to run as one. because it's really, racial on a level 4s. It's more serious problems. So everybody on the yard, it's an issue. I come out, one of my enemies try to rush me. So now we fighting. My cellmate, he on the other side of the yard on the other gate, because on the 270s, it's a gate up, but you can see through it. So he's on the other side of the yard fighting. And then my enemy, his cellmate jumps in, now they jumping me. So I'm getting jumped. My friend, he on the other side of the yard fighting. They end up coming, beating us with the batons, pepper spraying us, and taking us to the hole. So we end up going to the hole. My cellmate and the other dude get out the hole. But I'm back there because I got jumped, and they back there because now they trying to figure out what else is going to happen. Because usually somebody retaliates. Once you jump somebody else retaliates. And then they bring us these chronos, which saying basically that we can all go back to the yard and program together. So I signed the chronos. They signed the chronos. I end up going back to the yard. They don't come back to the yard. I think they probably told the police they didn't want to come back. But when I come back to the yard, the whole yard happy to see me. Oh, hey, stay. They end up taking me. I was in C2, Charlie 2. I end up going to the other side of the yard to Charlie 5. So when I go to Charlie 5, it's an OG named Steel Bill. I'm going to his cell. Now, at this time, he had already been in prison like 36 years.
Jesus.
So when I go in there, the police had already told him all about me because he's an OG, so they respect him. He had did like 10 years in the shoe. So when I get in the cell, he already knows. See, like, is everything over? So I'm sitting there, I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah. So he gets to give me the spiel. Hey, man, you're around here causing all this trouble. Y'all the only ones doing it. Everybody else around here got these cell phones. They going on visits. They taking these programs because this prison got programs. I think this is on a level 4, I think this is the facility with the most programs. He like, man, so you need to take some of these classes, enroll in college. At this time, I had already started trying to sign up for college, for Coastline Community College. But they would always say they didn't have no classes because it's like a correspondence course. And the whole prison be signing up. So at this time, he like, man, I've been down 36 years. He like, man, this ain't no way to watch the world, from a cell. Seeing the world just, take off from a cell. Life keep moving on, people dying and stuff like that. He like, man, I've been down 36 years, take it from me. He like, man, get yourself a cell phone, get involved in some of these self-help classes, and get you a girlfriend. So slowly but surely, I started signing up for self-help classes, anger management, money management, stress management, shit, I ain't even had no kids. I was signing up for parenting classes. I was a sewing machine operator. And then out of nowhere, it's like 2016, they ended up calling me to the education building. And then they was letting us know they about to start this pilot program from Imperial Valley College, which is the community college that come inside the prison to teach the classes. And that since I was down for it at this time, this is like 2016. So at this time, I'm locked up for 9 years. They putting me in this college program, which is for a psychology degree. The only thing is when you sign up for it, you can't transfer out of the prison. They want you to graduate. And me being from up north, I'm trying to go back up north so I can get visits. I was getting visits from my mom maybe 1-2 times every once in a while because from Sacramento to Imperial, California, it's a 10-hour drive.
Right.
So that's 20 hours back and forth.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody coming over there frequently. So at this time, I'm like, damn, then I just got me a girl.
How did that happen?
I get a cell phone. I make me a Facebook.
Okay.
I'm on the Facebook. As soon as I make it, everybody lighting up. Oh man, you finally got you a Facebook. This, that, the third. Then my sister, she make me an Instagram. I get on Instagram. I see a female I grew up with. I slide in her DM.
Are you concerned about getting caught? Like, what if
I got life in prison, man?
No,
you think I'm concerned about getting caught with a cell phone?
I'm saying,
I'm more.
No, I'm not worried about the cell phone. I'm saying the way you get caught is like like a guard or somebody sees the.
No, look, see, see, this is what we do in California prisons, right? You get a piece of string, you get the milk cartons, and then you shave up the soap. Mm-hmm. You wet the soap, you paste it on the back of the milk carton, you put the strings in it, you hang it up, you let it dry for like 2 days, but you put a hook on there so you can unhook the string. You put up a curtain, you pull it, it blocks the cell window.
Right.
Yo, cellie, he keeps lookout.
Right.
So you don't have to worry about a guard.
Yeah, but if they come in and search the cell, they're still not going to find it?
You got stash spots.
Okay.
Different ways. It's always a way, So I end up getting in touch with her. We talking for like 6 months. We end up talking about getting married.
You got life in prison.
But at this time, they come with all these new laws. Now they about to give lifers back conjugal visits.
Okay.
So now I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna be able to get these conjugal visits. We're gonna be able to have sex. This, the third. We end up getting married.
Are you serious?
I'm in college. Now I'm itching to go back up north.
Right.
So mind you, this is the end of 2018. At this time, I'm making my first documentary, Louisville State of Struggle, Young Black Men in America.
All right.
So I got this illegal cell phone. I'm in prison making this documentary. I just got married. I'm going to college. Now I'm ready to leave and go back up north to get my visits. But then prison starts changing again.
Right. But they wanted you to do the...
they wanted me to do the program.
Right.
So now at this time, they had let the Mexican mafias, the BGF, and all of them out of the security housing units, the dudes that had been back there 20, 30 years. So my cellie, he had went on a mission with a brother named Brother Malcolm. He ended up doing 10 years in the SHU. Brother Malcolm ended up doing 30 years in the SHU. But mind you, when they came to prison, they was like 18, 19, so they fall up under certain juvenile bills. So when Brother Malcolm come out the SHU, I ended up having the pleasure of meeting him because Steel Bill was my cellie, and they was codies when they went to the SHU. So now Brother Malcolm ends up in college. So now I'm telling him I want to leave, and him and another OG, they telling me, they said, look, man, if you stay in college, you was 14 when you got locked up. If you stay in college, you graduate college, I can guarantee you getting out of prison. And that always stuck with me. So I end up not transferring. I end up making the first documentary. I'm in there, I'm showing, kids how we brush our teeth and stuff like that. Just showing them why they don't want to come to prison. I got like 15, 16 of my friends on there that's on the streets. And then I stay in college. I end up getting married. I end up getting conjugal visits. First conjugal visit, I end up getting her pregnant.
Jesus.
I'm excited.
You're excited.
She ends up having an abortion behind my back.
Oh, okay.
And tells me it's a miscarriage.
Well,
but deep down inside, I knew it wasn't.
Okay.
You always got that feeling. So we was together for a minute, then we ended up separating while I was in prison.
I mean, you're separated in prison anyway.
Yeah, but it's a difference between being separated and separated. Like, it's a difference between being physically separated and breaking that circle of trust separated.
Right. Okay.
So we ended up being separated. I ended up graduating college with a AA degree in psychology, completing all these programs. At this time, it's 2020. I get the last family visit, March 13th, 2020. COVID hit.
Right.
Now we on lockdown, 18 months, no visits, no contact from the outside world. The first 6 months, a phone call every 3-4 days. So now the marriage is really over with.
Right.
She done probably found somebody else. The only good thing was I was still working in PIA. So what they had was a critical workers list. So they had us making COVID masks for the prisons.
Right.
So I get at my supervisor. It's a group of other inmates. They talking about getting a letter from the supervisor saying basically they aiding the California prison system and saving lives by creating these masks so the disease don't spread.
Mm-hmm.
So while they talking about it, I go get it typed up. I take it to the supervisor, have him sign it. I got mine. So I have him make a copy of it and put it in my C file. So after I do that, I take it and show the dudes that was talking about it, but they wanted to keep it amongst themselves. You know, like you got the elite groups in prison, think they better than everybody, always want to hold out. So what I do is I show them, but then I show everybody else, and I tell them, hey, take it in there and just have them put your name on there and get you one. Because when you got stuff like this in your prison file, and you got, whether it's the parole board, the course, and them looking at it, it's going to show that you're rehabilitated. So it's like 2020, we on lockdown for like 18 months. I ended up writing my first book, Little State of Transition. I ended up publishing that. And then 2022 come. At that time, we definitely split. I get a job in the kitchen. I go in the kitchen.
Are you off COVID now? But you're all
we're still on COVID. 2022, we still on. They dragged COVID out.
Right.
If you didn't have a job, you were stuck in this. I'm talking about, I've seen people going crazy.
Yeah,
losing
you're basically in the shoe. You're basically in the shoe. You're just in your cell.
Losing their mind. I'm talking about dudes in there just broke. So I'm in the kitchen. Supervisor, he cool. Meet some good brothers in there. My boy Big TC from Schoolyard, got him right here. But I'm in there, then 2023 come. It's these Serranios. They come with a packet. It's called People versus Herd 1170D resentencing. Juveniles that were 17 and under, and it's their first time incarcerated or they committed their crimes with an adult, can have had a chance of being resentenced completely. And once you resentence, you able to get sentenced under the new laws because it opens everything back up. So I file it. I send it in. Nothing comes back. Somebody end up getting killed. We go on lockdown. We come off. I make a copy of the packet. Somebody end up getting killed again. We end up going on lockdown. At this time, I done filed numerous motions. The aiding and abetting, all this stuff I didn't even know that I knew didn't apply, but that was new law. And they kept giving me this attorney named John Stoller. And at this time, I'm blowing up his phone. I'm trying to get out of prison. I see people getting out of prison, people that didn't have life getting out of prison. I'm like, hey man, I just filed this motion. So the last time I called him after I filed the People vs. Herd 1170D. I'm like, hey, John Stoller. He like, man, what do you want, Jamel? I'm like, hey man, I just filed this People vs. Herd. He like, man, it ain't gonna work. Some, and just basically tried to rush me off the phone. I'm like, all right, fill it out. I sent a copy to the judge. I know I sent the copy to the DA.
Right.
I'm sitting on my bunk. 30 days later, I get some legal mail. Stevens, get up, G36754. I open it. They gave me a case number. We assigned People vs. Herd to judge. I forget her name. Department something. So I called the attorney. I'm like, hey, John. He like, man, I said, look, hold on. I said, hey, I got a case number. He like, what? I'm like, yeah, I got a case number under the People vs. Herd. He like, hey, man, let me contact the courts and tell them let me be your lawyer. I'm like, all right, it's all good. So he contacted the courts. The DA replied back, oh, I didn't get a copy, so I feel that the petition should be denied. The judge like, well, I sent you a copy.
Right.
So 30 days go by. He asked for another extension. So now we at what? Like the end of 2023. Right before Christmas, he files his reply. Now the courts is shut down. But my attorney gets it. So he tells the judge basically, since they passed Senate Bill 260, which gives me the possibility to go up for parole at 25 years of life, and since I'm able to get a Franklin hearing, which allows the courts to be able to take in my mitigating factors during that parole hearing, that I should be denied in that 50 years of life. Because the thing about People versus Herd was, when Herd filed the 1170D, he had read in the Title 15 that juveniles that was 17 and under that had life without parole can go up for resentencing.
But you have parole.
And Herd had 180 years to life, which he said is the same as life without parole.
Yeah.
Because who's going to live to be after 180 years?
Right. But they're saying you have parole.
This
correct?
opens up the gate. Because now the argument is, what's life without parole? If you're saying that giving a juvenile 50 years and he gets out when he's 65, 70 years old, that's life without parole because it gives him no meaningful opportunity to live in society.
Right. I'll give you that.
So it opened up the argument.
Like I can see them arguing, you have parole, but when? When I'm 65 years old? Like that's not really.
With the DA is saying, since Senate Bill 260, and since People versus Franklin takes in my mitigating factors that I shouldn't fall under the People versus Heard, because the People versus Heard is juveniles had the chance of being rehabilitated and had a sentence drastically reduced under these new laws. And under these new laws, they passed it to whereas juveniles that was 14 or 15 can no longer be tried as adults in the state of California.
So you never should have been tried as an adult to begin with.
Yeah, so when you get resentenced, it opens up that door that allow you to apply under that new law.
Right.
So the DA is saying, no, that doesn't matter because he has these other opportunities. So now it's me, LA and San Diego is letting everybody go.
Yeah.
Under this People versus Heard. Now Sacramento is me and an Asian I know of at this time. We're both in the courts. They deny my People versus Heard. They grant his and send his to juvenile court.
Why? What was the difference?
This is the trick with the judge. She denies it, but then it's another new law that passes in 2024, 1172.1, which gives the judge discretion to recall your sentence. So she denies my People versus Heard because she says she don't feel like I got the functional equivalent to life without parole with 50 years. But the Asian had the same sentence and he's in juvenile court. Mm-hmm. She said, but I'm going to recall it under 1172.1 under my own discretion. Because now she knows if she recalls my sentence, I'll go back to juvenile court and my record's sealed. But now that she's denied it and recalling her own motion, she wants my attorney and a district attorney to make a deal to whereas I'm still tried as an adult, I can't sue, but I'm let out. And my charges are reduced from a murder to a manslaughter. So my attorney, John Stoller, he ends up reaching out to the DA. We want manslaughter, one strike, no parole, no probation. So the DA don't say nothing. 30 days later, she come back. She agrees to it, but she said she had to rewrite the language. So my attorney tells me, call my family, you going home. But he's really trying to get me to appeal it.
Right. Why is she rewriting the language? What does she not like about the language?
Hold on. My attorney's saying if you appeal it, we're going to win, and you're going back to juvenile court. The district attorney wants it to whereas the only thing that she did was put, I can't sue. If any new laws come out saying it was wrong to convict a minor and give them all that time, make them do all that time, that I can't sue. So when I go to court, she comes in, she's playing around. So the judge tells the DA, she said, look, you got 72 hours to rewrite the language, and we got to come back in court because now my appeal is about to expire. So if she doesn't hurry up and re-sentence me, I have to open the appeal and everything goes out the window. 72 hours later, I go back to court. At first, my first court, my attorney was sure, hey, you're going home today. You're going home today. I'm walking through the yard. I'm happy. This time I'm unsure. So I go in there. She come in with the victim family. The victim family, they speak their piece. I make my statement about how I'm remorseful I am about the crime. How I regret doing the crime and, how I ruined multiple lives. And the judge, I'm going to recall the sentence. So she ended up recalling my sentence. I ended up getting my charge reduced to from first-degree murder to manslaughter, one strike. I can't be around no firearms or no armor or anything having to do with weapon-related. I can't sue. Since I ended up doing 17 years and 6 months, that I would do no parole, no probation because I agreed to a manslaughter, which only carried 11 years. So the extra 6 years, 6 months went towards my parole and probation.
Right.
So I ended up doing 17 years, 6 months. That was on June 3rd, 2024. Called my brother, called my family. I let them know. 3 days later, I was kicked out. June 6, 2024, $350.
What do you mean $350? They gave you $350?
Well, I had $150 on my books already, and they give you $200 at the gate.
Okay.
So I'm in reception. I mean, not reception. Release, R&R, reception and release.
Who comes to pick you up?
So,
or they push on a bus.
My supervisor coming here. He like, hey, Stevens, where you going? I'm like, I'm going home. He happy than a motherfucker. Another CO that didn't like him come in. He like, hey, where you going? I'm like, man, I'm going home to fuck your bitch. He like, what? So he like, you'll be back. I'm like, yeah, whatever. So my brother, he drive 10 hours. I call him that night. Hey man, something. He drive all the way 10 hours. Pick me up. I got the video on Instagram and go viral. Pick me up, I'm free. Boom. So I get out. Now, mind you, me and my wife my ex-wife, we've been separated. I get out. She got a son that I made a bond with. So I'm like, all right, my grandma don't know I'm getting out. I told him, I said, don't call my grandma. The day before I get out, I'll call my grandma. I'm like, hey, I'm going to call you tomorrow. Nana, I love you. So she expecting a phone call. So I end up getting out, change my clothes in the car. I get on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I end up going live. First mistake. Now everybody blowing up my brother's phone. So I end up getting on video chat with one of my partners in the pen. He got life. So now he happy. Because now I done gave him hope. You know, it's different when you hear about somebody getting life, but actually knowing somebody that had life, 2 life sentences, and so he's like, man, can I take a screenshot? I'm like, yeah, man, go ahead. He take a screenshot. One of the vloggers pick it up. Oh, Lil State just been released after 17 years for murder. Everybody know I'm out. Phone blowing up. Tell my brother stop answering the phone, smoking my whole way. I pull up to my nana house. My brother called my nana. He like, Nana, come outside. She like, what? He like, I got a gift for you. She like, what is it? It's a dark chocolate big black man. He like, no, Nana. So she coming out. I get out the car, walk up. She pause. I give her a hug. She down there pass out. She like, oh my God, you're really here? I'm like, yeah. So I get out. I'm out like 60 days. Got my wife, ex-wife, she harassed me about getting a job. I'm like, man, I just got out of prison. I just did 17 years. I'm like, you don't know what's going through my mind. So I'm already being irritated. That situation only lasted like a month and a half. End up messing with some other females, man. That's why I always tell people, man, when you get out of prison, think with your big head, not your little head. Mm-hmm. End up getting a female pregnant. I'm out a month and a half out of prison.
You can't take care of yourself. What are you doing?
Now she pregnant, and look, I get out. They got a program for people that get out of prison called Project Rebound. Which, if you graduated college and prison, when you get out, you can go to a university. I'm going to Sac State University.
Nice, right?
I switched.
Well, you got an AA.
I got an AA in psychology, but I switched it to.
So wait, are they paying for it?
They're paying for it.
Oh, okay. Shit. Because I was gonna say, if you got an AA, you can go anyway.
I'm actually still currently enrolled, but no, they pay for everything.
Yeah, that's huge.
So she ended up pregnant. I'm fresh out. I ain't got no car. So now I'm having to rely on people to get to college. That's not working. Mm-hmm. I'm fresh out of prison. It's a lot going on. I'm a known gang member. Kind of paranoid. You know, I did go to prison. Did, do a crime, stuff like that. Dropped out of college. Now I got to get a job because now I got to start preparing to take care of the baby. My son ended up being born. It took me like 4 months to get a job, and that was just a seasonal job. Everybody kept denying me because my record.
Yeah.
They say, oh, we found a better suited candidate and all this and that. But that's another thing they need to do. They need to create some type of program to whereas people that get out of prison that has no parole or no probation have some type of resources. Because when I got out of prison, if I didn't have the family support that I had, I'd probably be back in prison for another crime.
Right.
Because if you get out with $350, and let's be honest, how hard stuff is now compared to when I went to jail in 2000, and then mind you, I went to jail as a kid. So if I didn't have that family support, what would I do? So that's another thing. It needs to be some type of programs and resources for people that get out with life. But I end up getting into that. that situation ended up being toxic. Then the ex-wife, she ended up telling mom because she ended up pregnant. So I'm not knowing the whole time.
How is this happening?
So look, I'm not knowing.
It's just these women. They just keep. I don't know what's happening. You know.
Look, I don't.
Did you pass biology? I mean, you know what's happening. It's not like it's their fault. You know, I'm not saying they weren't there.
That's not what I'm saying is, right. She don't tell me.
Okay.
She tells my mom. Nobody tells me to like 6 months later.
Right.
I'm calling her, she denying it.
Right.
So now I done had this whole thing going on to whereas that became toxic. So I done had to do all these court procedures, twists and turns to get a DNA test. The other situation, I done had to go to custody court, fight for the custody. So when people get out of prison, think with your big head, not your little head. But since I've been out though, I can say I had 3 charity events. I've gave back to the kids of the community because that's one thing that I, from my situation and my life experience that I'm trying to use as an example to shine a light on that even though, you make a mistake, you come from where you come from and whatever actions that you have committed that don't define you or define who you is. So, I give back to the community, hygiene, clothes, socks, school supplies to the kids. Sometimes we have events where we bring jumpers out, barbecue and stuff like that. And like right now, it's like a detrimental time, for the black community with all the gang violence going on. And as I'm getting older and, once committing a senseless gang act, I feel like, times right now, people need to come together and, we need to stop killing each other and wasting our time. And, that's what the system is created to do, to tear us down. It's always been a tool or a mechanism to deter, the black man. So I feel like it needs to be like a gang truce called across the United States and, for people to come together as one. Because if we keep killing each other, like say my situation, nobody win. I done essentially went out here and committed this act and killed him. Now he can't have no kids and, it's just generations killed off. And if we keep doing that, we are going to be killed off. And, I mainly just be wanting to show people that even though I've been through what I've been through, that it's still hope. You can still graduate college. You can still be an example. You can still get out and do right. Since I've been out, I kept a job. I tell all my friends, make sure you keep a job. It's just like prison. You get out, in order to survive, you got to keep a credit program. A lot of my friends that got locked up, 14, 15 years old, they get out, they only last like 6-8 months because they go back to doing the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Back to the same activities.
Probably shouldn't go back to the same neighborhood. Probably needs to go to a different neighborhood.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? How can you go back to a neighborhood when you getting out with nothing? All that stuff costs money and resources. Mm-hmm. You have to have somebody that's willing to help you, or you have to know where to go to be able to get that help. So a lot of times it'd be a lack of resources in the community.
To me, it seems like you never had a chance, right? Like the environment you grew up in and just kind of you were thrown to the wolves as a kid. Like, do you think there's any scenario, given your situation, that you don't end up in the streets in the life like that?
Well, I feel like anytime you got a 2-parent household, I'm not saying that's the end all be all, but anytime you got a 2-parent household with a strong male role model that's actually trying to be like like a father, actually spend time with their kids and there for their kids, I think it deters the path. Because I got a friend, Terrence Mitchell. He didn't grow up in a neighborhood, but he grew up around the neighborhood and run some of the same individuals. He had a 2-parent household. He ended up going to college, going to the NFL, and becoming successful.
Well, at least I remember you have a leg up. At least you have a leg up.
And I remember even when I used to be messing up, because his coach was my dad, he used to be on us. Hey, Jamel, man, your mama said this, this, and that. But he used to be on his son because this is his son. Mm-hmm. So he on him even harder. So even when you start to go wrong, with a young male, a male is going to have more influence than a woman. Because at a certain age, the child starts rebelling. Oh, you just a woman. It's only so many times you can give me a whooping. Because it got to a point to where my mama wanted to, at one time, she gave me to the foster care system for like 4 or 5 days. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you causing all this chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Came back, was cool for a minute, ended up running away. But I feel like if you got that strong male role model that actually puts in his time and is actually present in his son's life, it'll change a lot.
What are you doing for work?
Well, right now, I work in like warehouses and stuff like that. I also
Just like Amazon or something? My buddy Pete works at Amazon.
Oh yeah,
he just got out of. I mean, he got out of the halfway house, and they actually got him a job at the halfway house for Amazon.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
See, I ain't gonna lie to you. All the jobs I got, right, I kind of got them by knowing somebody that worked there that was able to put in a word to the supervisor, who was able to put a word into the hiring recruiter.
Right.
So getting out is not that easy.
Yeah.
You know, you got to know somebody to be able to. So, you know, I do, like I said, I always keep a job. Been working at the same job 9, 10 months. Podcast, do other people podcasts. And mainly, like I say, man, I'm just trying to shine a light and show people that it's hope. You know, I mainly do this for people that I was in prison with. They got life without parole. They got life in prison that deserve a second chance, that ain't had the opportunity to get that second chance. But to show, you know, the world, or, you know, show everybody that just because a person committed a heinous act or a violent act, that's all that's to them. Because I done been in prison with OGs that have been locked up 50 years and didn't have a chance. And then they get in there and, you know, the system kind of brainwash you, and you in there and you might commit another murder in there. I know people that went in there with 10 years, now they got life sentences, but people do deserve a second chance because there's people in there that's trying to rehabilitate themselves every day. And a lot of times in prison, when you rehabilitate yourself, you got to take it upon yourself. And then another thing is CDC then came up with this program to whereas they're trying to integrate the protected custody yours with the general population. So a lot of them dudes that have been stabbed, that have told on people in prison, they're trying to mix them back together to create violence within a prison.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not a good idea. That
and
seems
now,
like a bad idea.
And now they're trying to come back with the shoe to lock them back up. Because when they let everybody out of the shoe, they had a peace treaty to where it would be no more major violence. And it was working. Blacks and Mexicans started playing basketball together and stuff like that. Now they're trying to create a program to cause more violence. Like, I'm pretty sure you seen my boy Hector Bravo. He's a CDC officer that be leaking all the footage on prisons. They seized his bank accounts and all that stuff.
Why?
He's been on everything, Black, because it was one murder in there. The police let a dude get stabbed like 70 times.
Mm.
You know, on the level 4, they got mini 14s. They're supposed to shoot, no warning shots. And they're sitting at the door watching. But Hector Bravo be exposing CDC and the programs they be trying to create to lock people up and cause all this chaos.
Did we have him on?
No, I think
we did 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
On a remote interview. So,
okay.
So it's kind of, sometimes it's, when we have somebody on remote 3 years ago, it's kind of hard to remember.
Yeah.
Oh, is that guy?
We should have him back in, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, he said he'd be willing to come. I had talked to him, but he said he got to go out the country for like 6 months or something.
Yeah,
he'd be good to have back.
He'd be, in person.
Yeah, in person.
Yeah, the people that were remote, we're slowly having them come back, if they're interested, to come back in person.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if you started a YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, I started a YouTube channel.
You might want to mention,
Yeah, it's called
He's breezed right over that.
It's called Big Stay 6-6-24. The day I got out, Big Stay, June 6, 2024. It's the 8-Man, Save Man, True Story podcast. I had to create a whole new channel.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, baby mama hacked my channel. Deleted all my content.
Oh, my God. I
lost my 4th documentary. Can't get it back. Luckily, the 3 documentaries I did in prison, my video man when I was in prison had it. My music videos, he had like 4 of them. And then I still had some, because I had to get a whole new phone because I ran my storage up. So some of the interviews I got, but I didn't have to start everything from the beginning. But I got all 3 of my documentaries on there. Louisville State of Struggle, Young Black Men in America, Beautiful Elevation, and Brothers Incarcerated.
What's up with this chick, bro? Why would she do that? What did you do?
Well, I had left my iPad in my son's backpack.
Okay. And
she goes in my son. I went over there to drop my son off.
Right.
I leave the iPad in the backpack. She said she needed some diapers. I'm in a rush. I leave the whole dirt bag back there. By the time I realize my iPad is in the bag, it's too late. Went through my iPad, seen photos of females holding my son. Well, one female holding my son.
Oh, she didn't like that.
Didn't like it. Deleted all my shit. Didn't let it deter me. Bounced back, did 70 more interviews.
So who are you interviewing? Are you interviewing these guys they're incarcerated?
Well, no.
Or just anybody?
I've interviewed my attorney, John Stoller. I interviewed real estate agent Keisha Matthews. Interviewed a radio host that I went on a radio show with that my attorney invited me with. I interviewed local rappers from Sacramento, people that have been in the foster care system. Just different walks of life, different stories.
Sounds like Soft White Underbelly.
No, it's the true story.
Right, listen. I can't even watch Soft White Underbelly because some of the stories are so depressing.
Mine's are like, it's not depressing. Mine's be like stories of resilience, like we came from nothing but everybody making something out of it.
Right.
It's a lesson in the story. This is what you could learn. A lot of these people have either been in and out of prison. So it's like a lot of stuff you can learn from it.
Listen, my wife loves watching like Mark's channel, the Soft White. And I'm like, how can you watch like this woman she's it's just a horrible upbringing, and she's on the streets and she's addicted to drugs, and she'll just watch the whole thing. I'm like, it's horrible. It's just depressing. And
I had told this female, she younger than me. She like, I've been watching Mark since I was in high school. I'm like, huh?
I know. But some people love it. They just obviously they love it. He's getting millions of views. He's got 10 million subscribers. I mean, he's kicking ass. But for me, it's just like, it's just I start spiraling now. It is. I just start, and of course the bad decisions, the one bad decision these people make after another. Not that I've made a bunch of good decisions, but
how do you keep letting it happen?
Oh my man!
But see, a lot of that though be like a lot of them people, because I don't really watch them either. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? These podcast interviews I did, I was in prison. And then when I was in prison, I did like 3-4 podcast interviews with 16 to Life, Big GP, and I think Big Hurt. But I really do podcast interviews, man, just to shed a light and try to show people that, this is not all that, is there to life. Because a lot of people see my stories and it be inspiring. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people, I think Jay-Z and them had came out on a documentary where a dude got locked up when he was like a teenager. Got out, couldn't cope with it mentally, and committed suicide. So I'll be trying to show people a story of resilience and hope. And just give people a lot of inspiration, because it's a lot of people that got family members that's incarcerated in the legal system. Because, it's the new slavery. So I'll be just trying to get on here, man, and show everybody that, it is hope, it is resilience. That, a situation don't break you. You can't never let it break you. You can't never give up or give in. You got to keep pushing no matter what. And to call it, a gang truce all across the United States, and let them know that, because I almost threw my life away. This is like a second chance for me.
Right.
So I don't want the same, youth making that mistake, and then one youth is uselessly losing his life, and his family got to hurt, and then your family got to hurt by you going away for life, and them same homies that you thought you had, or you thought that was there for you. They life still gonna go on. Mm-hmm. Even though you in that prison cell and, they out there and you can call them and stuff like that every once in a while, it ain't gonna be like when you was on the streets and y'all was with each other and y'all was gang banging or whatever y'all was gonna do, because when you go to jail, don't none of that matter. All you gonna have is yourself. When you locked in that box, I'm pretty sure after doing that 13 years, when you locked in that box, ain't nobody gonna be there for you. Not the ones that you was, in my life experience, and the people that I'm talking to, or the people that I'm trying to steer out the way, the people that we hang with, they ain't gonna be there for you. They probably gonna be trying to sleep with your girlfriend and stuff like that.
If you sleep hot at night, you know how disruptive that can be. When you're not resting well, everything else feels harder. Your focus, your mood, even your recovery. GhostBed is here to help you fix that. They've spent decades perfecting how to build a bed that's comfortable, durable, and designed to actually help you rest. Every GhostBed mattress features premier materials, proven cooling technology, and their exclusive ProCore layer, a targeted support system that reinforces the center of the mattress where the body is heaviest. It helps keep your spine aligned and your back supported, so you can wake up ready for anything 2026 throws at you. Each mattress comes with a 101 night sleep trial and a 20 to 25-year warranty. So you can try it risk-free, knowing it's built to last. Shipping is fast and free. Most orders arrive in 2 to 5 days. GhostBed has great prices to begin with, up to 50% off comparable brands. And Inside True Crime listeners can get an extra 10% off site-wide for a limited time. Just go to ghostbed.com/Cox and use promo code Cox at checkout. That's ghostbed.com/Cox, promo code Cox. Upgrade your sleep with GhostBed, the makers of the coolest bed in the world. Some exclusions apply. See site for details.
And then when you do get out and you doing good and you doing better than them and you ain't doing the same stuff, they gonna start hating on you.
Yeah. No, I was going to say that the people you think should be there for you aren't there. And the people that shouldn't be there for you, that you wouldn't expect to be there, are there for you. It's like the people you did nothing for are there for you.
The ones that suffering the most because they are for you every step of the way.
Well, I'm saying the people you feel like, well, I felt like I did the most for that had a huge benefit, that made a bunch of money, that did, those people walk away immediately. The people that you really never did anything for.
Exactly.
Those people are coming to visit you, sending you money.
And then not only that, though, even when you get out, them same people is going to be your biggest supporters.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dudes that you was growing up with and stuff like that, once you start doing stuff, they going to start hating because everybody be like, oh, why not me? They going to, jealous and envious. And if you want to miss that whole misstep, just take a page out of my life and don't follow the same blueprint.
I was going to say, Rudy. I bumped into a guy that probably made $1 million or so on my fraud in the gym, and came up and kind of yelled at me a little bit. Not really, like you could tell he was going to.
Yeah.
But then he calmed down. But yeah, was furious.
Why?
Like you're
furious. Why you think that was?
I went to prison. You should have gone to prison.
Yeah.
You didn't. You made probably $1 million. He was upset because the FBI interviewed him 3 or 4 different times, and he said it ruined his life. I went to prison. If there was a chart and I was here, there would have been 2 people directly under him. One would be Dave Walker. The other one would have been Rudy.
Yeah.
Like you can't say, like he's basically talking to me like he had no idea what was going on. And I'm looking at him thinking, you've been telling yourself that for 15, 16 years that you didn't know, and I didn't say anything back because he was upset, and I didn't, and I'm as he's talking, I realized oh, you're delusional. In his mind, he's convinced himself I didn't know this was fraud. I didn't know that.
So now he's trying to act like he didn't.
Right, because he's probably been telling that lie to everybody he knows.
He believes it.
He believes it. But the truth is,
a lot of people like that though that tell themselves something for so long, or they convince themselves so much that they psych themselves out to whereas they really believe that it's your fault.
But I mean, think about
that come from people not being. See, that's why some people need to go to prison, right? Because they need to learn how to hold themselves accountable.
Well, think about how delusional this is. This guy, I took him into the DMV and got him a driver's license. Well, actually, it was an ID. An ID in another name. But you didn't know it was fraud? I got him a new social security number. But you didn't know. He had credit cards under a phantom social security number.
Yeah.
You had a credit card, but you didn't know that was illegal. Yeah. All of these things, you got multiple mortgages using this driver's license.
That you knew.
Fake social security card. Fake W-2s. And you don't work here.
And you still trying to play the
victim. And you're telling me, you're acting like I was committing fraud and you didn't know. But in his mind, he's convinced himself of that. And so I'm sitting there looking at him thinking, you're delusional. And, I've ruined his life. And I'm thinking, I went to prison. You didn't. You see what I'm saying? So you're right. I mean, the people they get delusional. And those are the people that really... He made the most money. There was no real there was no consequences for him, other than the fact that he said there was an article out there that says it has his name in it. There's an article that has one name in it that says we were business partners. That's it. That's all it says. And but yeah, people are.
But
they
even
get
with
delusional.
that though, you can't say that though because Donald Trump is missing in the Epstein files.
Well,
and he's still president.
I understand. I'm not sure what that has to do with Rudy, but
what I'm saying is, even if his name was in that article,
it doesn't mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything. I understand. It's not hurting.
Well, and all what it said was true. We were business partners. Like, what does that have? That's nothing.
But even take it a step further, you knew what was going on.
Right, but I'm saying so
don't psych yourself out talking about, oh, it was you.
But people get delusional. Just like I'm saying, you're like you with like all of your buddies, like there's probably a whole slew of friends of yours that you thought we're all close, and then you went to prison, and those people aren't even reaching out to you.
Right? All these dudes was yelling free, stay in their music. Now I got my podcast going on, it's becoming kind of popular.
Right.
I've been out, carved my own path. I ain't went back to my old ways. I'm not leading the youth in the wrong way.
And they're hating on you now?
Now they hating on me. But that's what I want to tell the youth. The same people that you think is for you, when you start doing your thing and creating your own path, you're going to see what this lifestyle is really about. So I would advise you just to misstep it and use my life as an example of what not to do.
Listen, I always think about that the shark video that I it just always and there's so many different I have a shitty version saved. There's so many great versions, but it's still the same shark. Like you look at it and it's just it just there was a great version that I probably sent it to somebody. I should find it, but there's a version. It's just a little TikTok, but it basically it's like all those people that are out there that mock you along your journey. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You shouldn't do this. Oh, that's a waste of time. That's this. That's that. Why did you come to the party with us? How come you can't come out tonight? Why are you going home early? Why? Come on, man, go do that. All those people that mock you while you're trying to build something, then when you build it and it becomes successful, you know what they say to you? They go, oh, you just got lucky. Really? I just got lucky. And so there's a thing, I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Where it's like basically those people will mock you along your journey, and then when you make it, they'll say you got lucky, and then it says, and here's the luck, and it shows a shark swimming. But as the shark goes by, like he's coming towards you, you think, oh, it's a great looking, beautiful shark. But as he passes, he's gouged and scarred and just beat to hell. Like, I mean, it looks like a propeller tore him up, but it's scarred. It's old scars. It's like, this is the luck. Like, I got the shit kicked out of me for decades while I built this, while you mocked me. And then I built this, and now you're saying it was luck. Okay, I get it. Like, but you're right, because they hate on you.
Yeah.
But if nobody's hating on you, it's the same
you're
thing.
Not doing something right.
Yeah, if you have no enemies,
only mad because they ain't did it first.
Right. So while you were partying and while I was working 60 hours a week and waking up an extra couple hours early to do other things and staying up at night trying to finish this book or this website or go on this program or flying across the country. Well, that would have been, you just flew across the country. It would have been nice. You could have hung out and with your girl. You could have done this. But no, I'm going to jump on a fucking plane, squeeze between two fat people in a shitty fucking flight all day just to get here to have a podcast. And then I'm going to jump on a plane. I'm going to do it all the way back. But, it would have been nice. You probably would have preferred to have just gone and seen a movie or gone to a barbecue. Mm-hmm. But that's not how I get to where I want to be.
Exactly.
So,
mind you, I've been doing this I've been building my platform since I was in prison when I started my first documentary.
Fucking ballsy, bro.
Look, I make the documentary. I print up 150 DVDs, sell them for $25 a pop.
Right.
I ain't stopped since. That was 2000. I started recording that documentary 2017. Been working ever since.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
I'm about to drop my second book, 365 Days of Inspirational Quotes. And then I'm working on the follow-up to my first autobiography, Loyal State of Transition.
I hear you. I was writing books for 10 years before I walked out the door. You know what's funny about that is that you're in there writing and doing all these things. There's no benefit to you at the time other than to occupy your time and help. And really, I think it helps you learn how to kind of think, right? Plan, execute. But writing those books, the sale of those books, every once in a while was what got me through. Something I did 10 years ago.
I'm gonna keep it real, right? What really be motivating me is, like, say I did my first documentary, and then when I get my feedback, that's what motivates me. Like, oh man, this, that, or when I hear people like, man, I watched that, man, that was dope, this, that, and the third, or even like when I wrote my book, and then like different people start calling me because it started floating around the prison system. My homies started getting it, and then calling people on the streets like, man, when I was in prison, I read your book, this, and I was like, oh, okay. And just keep me motivating. Just I feed off the energy, and then even when I ain't got that energy, I feed off my own energy. Especially since I'm out. What? Sky the limit. It could be a bad day, the sky a limit.
Yeah.
Because it's like I came from nothing. I spent half my life in prison. I got out with $350. And I'm not going to say, because you got to remain humble, I'm not going to say I'm doing better than most, but got my own spot, my own car, my own job. Got my podcast, my own little podcast space. Sky the limit.
Hey, you guys, I appreciate you watching. Do me a favor, hit the subscribe button so you get notified of videos just like this. Also, if you want to check out The Big Stay, The Prisoner's Voice, that is Jamel's podcast. It's going to be in the description box. Go there, click on the link. You can shoot over, you can subscribe, check out everything. We're also going to leave his social media links there so you can follow him on Instagram, Facebook, assuming some girl hasn't erased it by now or whatever.
No, my channel good, man.
Okay, so we're gonna do that. We're gonna leave all the links in the description box. Please go over there. Please subscribe. Please check out the socials. Thank you very much. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate you doing everything you do to support. And please do me a favor, share the video to anybody you think might be interested. Thank you very much. See ya.